I feel like I'm getting the influence of other people's goals and dreams, and it's affecting on how it's making me feel on my own goals and dreams. I would like to know a little bit more about working with our emotions. Like, how can it give us that freedom and empowerment?
So I'll just start by saying that emotions are neither good or bad. And that has been a very trained belief system that we've had. Like there's negative or positive, good or bad. And really, I like to just think of it as a communication system. It's just a communication system. So, really making it neutral. And when we're feeling the emotions that are challenging, that are uncomfortable, it's a signal that you're out of alignment with your truth. You're out of alignment with your sense of self-worth, power, the whole I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, I'm not good enough. So in answering that question, seeing like everything around, and if you start to feel these triggers that are making you judge yourself or questioning yourself, feeling maybe shame, frustration, personal judgment, that is just an indication of, okay, I'm out of alignment with who I really am and my truth. So the trigger is probably what needs to be worked on, like what is underneath that. But in terms of just working with the emotion and supporting you and coming back into alignment, that's where tapping is great because you just really focus on that emotion, let it be heard, accept that it's there. Once it starts to move through, there can be another message that comes forward of, okay, where was the moment that I started to become out of alignment? What am I seeing here that makes me not feel aligned? It just helps us see whenever we're feeling a difficult emotion, not that it's good or it's bad, or I want to say that it's like what we're seeing is true, but really it's just our feelings are true. They're really coming up, but it's just saying, hey, you're out of alignment right now. So let's work on this so you can just come back in alignment.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly why I feel like I need to take a break from social media is because it's having me put judgment on other people, and I don't like that. I either need to remove myself from the situation, remove them from the situation, and these are people that I love, people I don't know, just all these different people that I'm like, "Oh, I think I need to just get back into alignment with myself, take a break, take myself out of that equation, and be able to focus on myself." And I love that there's a tool like tapping because, we've talked about meditation, we talked about journaling, but I feel like tapping takes it beyond. Meditation for me helps connect me to my visions, what I really want, but tapping actually can move the needle. What's blocking me? What's that emotion? And how can I work through that? I can't do that in meditation. Meditation's a whole different tool for that. Now, I haven't used it consistently enough that I felt like I've seen a big change in that. So, for anyone listening that hasn't tried it or hasn't tried it consistently, do you have any advice for us when we're really trying to work through what we're working through? And how do we find that thing we're trying to work through?
Yeah. Tapping is actually really quick. I mean, of course, everything is a practice. And so just the more that you practice it, the easier it's going to become, the less triggered you'll become on something, especially if you're focusing on a certain thing. So, for example, I specifically work on limiting beliefs and creating new empowering beliefs. And so, working on deconstructing what that limiting belief is that's creating all these triggers, moving towards the empowering belief, typically of like the I am worthy, I am good enough. For those who haven't really explored tapping, one of my favorite things to do is actually just tapping and breathing. So, a really simple exercise is just when you're noticing your emotions spike in that moment, just tapping on like the body points. So, I would start at the top of the head and I would just guide people through and just okay, take a deep breath in and just going through each point. You could even rate it from 0 to 10. What's the intensity? 10 being, yes, really intense, 0 being neutral, breathing in, and just going through each point. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques, and it's allowing that emotion to just pass through. So if you're new, you could even just in that moment tap on certain parts of your body. And I just led a class yesterday people are asking questions of like, is there any right or wrong way to do it? And not really. Just if you know the points, because I even say if you have like a feel good point. So you're tapping through the body points and you're like, oh, under my eyes feels really good, or under my chin or my chest. Like I'll just sit here and sometimes just tap my chest. If you have a feel good point, you could just tap on that one point and just breathe and it'll naturally start to help. It's so great because it really does work quite quickly. Every other Wednesday, I facilitate tapping and empowerment and vibrational alignment at a studio in Capitola, California called Breath and Oneness. And we had a teacher meeting and, excitement. This perfectly goes to show about emotions not being good or bad because in my body, I was feeling like nerves, which nerves could be maybe coined like a negative emotion, that fear. But at the same time, there was this excitement of like, ooh, I'm excited of what I get to share. And so there was this combination of both. And just as it came to my turn to share about what I was offering, I just started tapping on my chest. I spoke it out loud. I was like, I'm excited. I'm nervous. So I'm just going to tap through, calm my body down. And I just gently tapped on my chest and started talking. And it just, my body, my nervous system, instead of wanting to run, it just grounded back into my body. And then I was able to speak from a place of groundedness. And everything's okay. It's all okay.
And I love that too because it is something tangible. I always wonder when I'm tapping in public, like if people are like, "What is she doing?" Like for us, like we're in communities where this is
Yeah.
normal. Like we would be like, "Oh, hey, look at you do
Yeah.
that." I forget that some people are just not in the spirituality space and understand that there's these tools that can help us right now. Welcome to Float Activity, the channel that guides you on a transformative journey towards spiritual wisdom, self-development, and healing practices, all aimed at elevating your intuition and aligning you with your soul's purpose. I'm your host, Kara Dempsey, and I'm thrilled to have you joining me as we learn together. Please subscribe and share this with a friend to help grow my channel. I appreciate you, and we'll chat soon.